Cool, let's go. Hello, sir.
Hello, AJ.
How you doing?
Thank you for coming.
Thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure. I'm a fan.
I'm a fan.
Oh.
We're both fans.
We're both from Ladbroke Grove.
Exactly. The ends.
Exactly.
Come on, man.
So how's the past 18 months been for you?
Boy, it's been eventful, in good and bad ways, I guess.
It's been a difficult time for musicians and artists.
Mm-hmm.
So is there any advice you'll give to people starting out?
Boy, yeah, this is an interesting
Especially
question.
in this pandemic.
Yeah. So, boy, in general, without the pandemic, I would just say people just starting out, you got to channel what it is you really love and chase it as hard as you can. Then you can stop when you've given it a try, but you have to try first. And if it means people aren't listening to your music, they're not listening today, but maybe they'll listen tomorrow. So keep trying. That would be my advice. Maybe with the pandemic, you have to be an entrepreneur. You need to think business-minded. You need to think, what are we lacking right now? What can I capitalize on? What space, what niche can I jump into and maybe, innovate and create something that people need?
And how do you remain positive through all this?
Loads of things. I don't want to give you a sob story, but obviously we used to fall behind on the bills and whatnot. School uniform was hard to buy. So when I'm dressed in these clothes and companies are looking after me, I'm grateful. Everything makes me happy. I'm grateful.
You've always been very passionate about inspiring the younger generation.
Mm-hmm.
What do you think some of the big steps they have ahead of them and how can they handle it?
Oh, there's a lot of big steps ahead of them, I'll be honest. As times change, things get easier and some things get harder. So for my grandmother coming from Trinidad, I'm sure racism was extremely hard for her to deal with. Because for me right now, racism is not too bad. And I don't mean to say that, like we're living in some utopia. That's something that is a bit easier for me and hopefully easier for my kids when I one day have kids, hopefully. But I think for the generation right now, it's about the violence, man. I think the violence is a hard thing for them to tackle. And being from, an impoverished area and growing up how I did, I understand that it's not as straightforward as saying to a kid, stay away from the weapons and the violence. They need to have something to do. They need positive things to be able to go and concentrate on and put their energy into, such as music or youth clubs.
We're both from Ladbroke Grove.
Yes.
And you described yourself growing up as angry. Can
Yes.
you explain a bit more about that and how did you overcome that?
Growing up, I was extremely angry. I was angry about, questions. It's why. It's why are we broke? Why are we struggling? Why is my mum crying? Why can't we pay the bills? Why do I have beef? Why does this guy want to hurt me? It's always a why, on my limitations as a human. And I felt like a lot of those limitations came because of my skin color. And some of them came just because, my mother's white, but because she was poor, society looks at her as the same. So I was just upset about life in general. And I think as I started to mature and understand that there are ways around some of the blockades that I put in my place, I started to be a bit happier. So, when I was saying to myself, why can't I be a famous rapper? It's not why can't I be a famous rapper, it's what can I do to get my music in front of the people who can make me into a famous rapper? What can I do? You need to look at the positives. So I became less and less angry the more I was looking at things that I can do rather than what I can't do.
In your Brit performance with Headie One,
Yes.
you said you didn't feel British.
Yes.
How can we change that?
I'll be honest with you, I do feel British, but in general, the vast audience that are looking at that performance of me and Headie would not see us as British. Even when I go abroad, people are like, oh, you've got an English accent, but you're black. It doesn't make sense. How are you? You're not English, you're not British, but both my mum and dad were born in England, so I'm actually English.
You talked about sort of admiring Marcus Rashford for sort of getting free food for students. Do you feel that you have to use your platform to make the world a better place?
Without sounding ignorant, I built my platform. It was extremely hard to build it. No one helped me. It was of my own doing. And whatever I want to use my platform for, whether it's good or bad, I will do so. Now me, luckily, I would rather use it for good. Yeah. But, I feel like people have the choice. I'd never look at celebrities, quote unquote, and say, why aren't you talking about this or why aren't you talking about that? Obviously, there's different circumstances. Some people, I feel, are obligated to speak on certain things, especially if you're using that culture. So if you benefit from black culture, I feel like you should speak out and stand up for black people. That's my personal opinion. It's also very hard for artists because I feel like when they do touch on certain subjects, a lot of what they're saying online is misconstrued and twisted in ways that they didn't even mean it. Recently, I said, I'm praying for the people of Palestine. I hope God looks after them. That's all I said. Nothing more, nothing less. I'm just hoping that they're okay. My heart goes out to them. I'm making prayers for them. Now, some people misconstrue that as anti-Semitic maybe, or maybe they just don't like that I'm standing up for some sort of group that they don't agree with. But my only intention by posting this message is to raise awareness for people who are suffering. There's people suffering on both sides. I just felt like right now at this moment, they needed my attention the most. I saw an interesting thing on the internet that basically said that if someone's house is on fire, and they're saying, you know, help me with my house matters. And someone else comes and says, well, what about my house? My house matters too. Yeah, your house matters too, but your house isn't on fire, right now. So, you know what I'm saying? That's all it is, yeah, man.
It's been a really great couple of years for you. You had Brit nominations, a new album, Flu Game. You're so young, you've achieved so much. What's left?
What's left? The world is left. I'm nowhere near finished. I'm not even started. I want to do so many things in my life, and I hope that I'm able to achieve them. I'm hoping that my property portfolio is making me more money than music within a few years. I don't want to be that guy that has reached his sell-by date and is still trying to force the kids to take in his music. You know what I'm saying? Right now I'm good. I'm all right for now. I hope not. I want to do so many things. I'd love to get into acting. I love fashion, of course. I love fashion. I'd love to do a catwalk. Get me anyone looking if you want to put me on a catwalk.
Oh, you will. I speak to people. I'm sure they'll be thrilled.
I would love to, man. All these things. Who knows? Write a book, whatever, man. Whatever. Just making a change and also living my life to the fullest I can.
Thank you so much for joining me. You're a real force for change.
Thank you for having me, man. It was a pleasure.